Hello, welcome to Save U.S. Taxes Legally. My goal is to teach as many U.S. investors, U.S. business owners, U.S. entrepreneurs, U.S. franchise owners, and also U.S. 1099 income earners how you can save U.S. taxes legally with the Spendthrift Trust. I know this sounds too good to be true. So stay with me for the next 20 to 30 minutes so we can go through this. Imagine saving four, five, six figures in taxes every single year. You'll never have to pay it back, and it's in the IRS Tax Code. It's been in front of the United States Supreme Court. Imagine no one knows what you own, how much you own, where you own it, what you do with it, and how much you sell it for. Imagine all lawsuits become frivolous and go away. I can't stop you from being sued, but if you do get sued, all your assets are in the trust. You send the attorney the first page of the trust. The attorney will research it, and you're like, oh, I can't get money from a stone, and it'll just go away. Think of how much time, anxiety, worry just disappears. This is the power of the Spendthrift Trust. Now, my name is Sally Gimmon. I am the owner of the trustisyou.com. I'll tell you my story in a few minutes, but it's my honor and my pleasure to teach this to as many people as possible. This is not taught in schools. I believe every U.S. business owner, U.S. entrepreneur, U.S. franchisee owner, U.S. business owner, and U.S. investor needs to know this information. And I believe that the playing field must be leveled for all businesses. The Amazons of the world get free land on Staten Island. My brother lost his brewery because the rents went too high. That's not fair. So let's get into this. Let me share my screen. The Spendthrift Trust is going to save you in four very distinct ways. Number one, you're going to save federal and state income taxes in certain states year after year, generation after generation. Number two, it's going to keep your information 100% private. I started out as a real estate investor, and I was told to get an LLC for every one of my properties. No one told me, this was in Arizona, no one told me that that anyone could go online to the Arizona Corporation Commission website and research LLCs, S Corps, and C Corps 24/7 by either my name or by the name of my LLCs. 40% of LLCs, S Corps, and C Corps get sued every year. That's state law. What happens in Arizona is not what happens in North Carolina. Here in North Carolina, it's a Secretary of State's website. The trust is on the federal level, so it will not hold any LLCs, S Corps, or C Corps and keep your information 100% private. Number three, third way to save. I can't stop you from being sued, but again, all lawsuits become frivolous and go away. One of my clients, true story, he and I are in the same national real estate group. I sat next to him. No offense to Patrick, but he wears a gold Rolex watch and a huge pinky ring. I'd say it's about 5 carats. I'm not jewelry. I don't know much about jewelry. In 2024, he was driving his RV. I have never seen it, but let's say it's a $250,000 RV with all the parts that come out. He couldn't slow down for traffic. He hit the car in front of him that pushed her into the car in front of her. They weren't going very fast because he was slowing down. They got out and exchanged information. His insurance card showed that the RV was owned by the Spendthrift Trust, the Beneficial Spendthrift Trust. He has 100 doors in Chicago. His driver's license, his Illinois driver's license, showed Patrick's name, last name, and his address in Chicago. Well, 4 weeks after the accident, he got a $900,000 lawsuit for pain and suffering from the woman who was squished in the middle of the car accident. Now, his insurance paid for the car accident and had liability insurance on that. Chances are his insurance rates went up. I can't help that. But this extra lawsuit that she was trying to make $900,000, she saw his Rolex, saw his pinky ring, saw his $250,000 RV, thinking, ooh, this guy's got money. She thought she could sue him. He calls me in a panic. I said, send the first page of the trust to her attorney and it'll go away. He waits 5 weeks, calls me back. He's like, I've heard nothing. I'm like, Patrick, That's the power of the Spendthrift Trust. And the fourth way you're going to save, you're going to leave a legacy for future generations. Worst case scenario, your great-great-grandson decides in 2095 you were crazy and cancels the Spendthrift Trust with the IRS. Your grandson is going to owe any taxes saved in 2095. Anything saved in 2025, 2026, 2027, 2030, 2045, 2050, and so on, he'll never have to pay back. This is an amazing document. Whoops, let's go down. Come on. So this is in Tax Code 643B. I don't know what happened last week, but 5 different people reached out to me and said, this is sent me the memorandum from the IRS. We're talking about an IRS tax code, not a memo. Please understand there's a major difference here. Your CPA or your financial advisor is going to tell you, look what the IRS says. They're going to pull up this August 3rd, 2023 memorandum that actually says they do not like IRS Tax Code 643B. They do not like the Irrevocable, Complex, Discretionary, Non-Grantor Spendthrift Trust. It's a memo. It's their opinion. If you ask me, in my opinion, which vegetable is the worst vegetable in the world, I would say the lima bean. My mom loved them. We used to have them 2-3 times a month. You can't cut them in half and you have to swallow them whole. They taste nasty. Now, only Congress can change the tax code. I don't know about y'all, but Congress isn't doing very much. We were shut down for 40 days or something. Too many U.S. presidents, the Kennedys, our current president, Donald Trump's father, Frank Trump, started this trust in 1972. Too many senators, too many Congress people, and too many of their supporters know about the Spendthrift Trust. They're not changing this. So you need to have these 5 elements. Let's go over what these 5 elements mean to you. Number 1, irrevocable. This goes from generation to generation to generation. The Rockefellers Spendthrift Trust is called the Office. It's been around for 7 generations. There are almost 400 people under the same EIN or employee identification number. Each individual family files a different 1041 tax return. Their money is not commingled. The Rockefellers just all save taxes. Complex. This trust can hold money from day to day, week to week, month to month, decade to decade, century to century. 97% of the trusts sold in the United States are what my mom and dad had and what Susie Orman talks about on PBS television, the family trust or the living trust. There's nothing wrong with the family trust or the living trust. It's designed to avoid probate, and then when both when the grantors pass away, all the assets are split up. This is not your mom and dad's trust. This trust is going to avoid probate. It's going to avoid the lawsuits. It's going to save you taxes, and it's going to leave a legacy. The living trust does not leave a legacy, does not avoid taxes, and again, you're going to spend $1,000 to $2,000 for the living trust. It's a good little thing to get by that. We didn't go through probate with my mom and dad's family trust. The history of this trust, because I haven't given it to you yet, it comes from England way back when King Henry VIII started the Church of England. That famous king who chopped off his wives' heads. He's decided, this is crazy. I just murdered a few ladies. Why don't I start my own Church of England so I can divorce the ladies instead of kill them? What a sweet guy. He goes to tax the lords and ladies of England. They went back to the 13th century to the Magna Carta and said, oh, no, King Henry VIII, you can't do this. It's contract law that came from England to the colonies while we were still part of England. The law firm I work on behalf of, that was started by a Harvard law professor 77 years ago. In 77 years, not a single trust has ever been audited. Now his grandson and great-grandson run the law firm. They stand behind those numbers, and they promise if you get questioned by the IRS, they'll defend you free of charge. In 77 years, it's happened one time only. One time. The law firm that I work on behalf of inherited a trust that turned 350 years old in 2023. I'm doing this. My presentation last night had a disturbance on it, so I'm doing this on December 2nd. The trust is now 352 years old and still going strong. Our current tax structure that we are under went into effect February of 1913. It was only supposed to be around for a few years because the federal government was broke. Unfortunately, we got involved in World War I, and from 1913 forward, it's grown and grown and grown and grown. The super rich families of 1913, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Carnegies, and the Kennedys made sure they could save taxes. Well, if they can save taxes, we can save taxes. Next thing, we did irrevocable, we did complex, discretionary. Whoever is a trustee or trustees makes the rules for the beneficiaries. There's no infighting, there's no contesting the will, there's nothing they can do about this. If I decide I'm a real estate investor and I leave 90% of all my belongings to one niece and each one of my other nieces and nephews only get 1%, they can't do anything about that. Now, an example for you. One of my beneficiary trust people, a husband and wife who have 4 apartment buildings in Los Angeles. They weren't affected by the fires last year. They have their adult daughter living in one of the apartments rent-free. They're requiring her, she has a slight problem, they're requiring her to pass 4 random drug tests per month to stay there. If she fails, she's kicked out. The daughter actually took her parents to federal court last year to sue them, saying this is unconstitutional. The judge read over the trust, and he told her she's got 2 options. Option 1, move out, start paying her own rent. Good luck with that. Or option 2, pass the drug tests and stay rent-free. I do not want to be invited to their Christmas dinner. The 4th element, non-grantor. When my mom and dad started the Gimmon Family Trust, the Living Trust, they were both the grantor and the settlers for the trust. When they both pass away, that trust dissolved. When you start the Spendthrift Trust, you're going to have someone who's never going to be a beneficiary, someone who's never going to be a trustee, sign up to be the grantor or the settler, and on the same day, sign themselves away. This is not a speed bump, but you need their social security number. I have done this for several of my clients. If, again, you can decide who does this for you, and it makes the trust 100% private. When someone tries to research this, they'll know the trust, even though you might be I was living in Arizona when I started both my business and beneficial trust. The trust is based out of Texas. I've moved 5 times since then. And then my grantor was a family friend, Roy, who unfortunately passed away. And so now nobody can research it. The 5th element, we got the irrevocable, complex, discretionary, non-grantor, now the spendthrift. This has been in front of the United States Supreme Court on 2 separate occasions, and it's won both times. You can't get more legal than that. Yes, the IRS has written this memorandum. Your CPA or your financial advisor is going to tell you about this. And the reason that your CPA or your financial advisor is not aware of the Spendthrift Trust, it is trust law. Currently, in the United States, there are over 1 million active attorneys. Only 4% are trust attorneys. A textbook trust attorneys study in law school is called Scott and Asher on Trusts, 5th edition. In that textbook, there's an entire chapter dedicated to the Spendthrift Trust. If you're close to a law library, it's also in Black's Law Dictionary, or maybe you can find it online. This is legal. It's in the IRS Tax Code, and follow the breadcrumbs the rich leave. Now, this is now December 2nd. I do have 2026 tax brackets for you too. But the reason I'm keeping 2025 tax brackets here, quietly on January 1st of 2025, the IRS changed how the 4 tax brackets work. The most expensive tax bracket is single. Then it comes head of household. You're single with children up to the age of 18 in the household. Then it's married filing separately, and then married filing jointly. Check out what they did on January 1st of 2025. They made married filing separately the same rate as single, all the way up to 35% tax bracket. This is a true story. In July, I had a wife call me. Her CPA told her that because she is doing digital marketing, she's in the first 5 months of doing digital marketing, she made over $100,000, and her CPA said they need to file separately. Her husband has a W-2 job. She's making 1099 income. I told her, don't listen to your CPA. Check out the difference because they were going to be up at 24% tax rate. If they filed separately, it's from 103,000 to 197,000. If they filed married jointly, it'd be 206,000 to 394,000, almost double the amount of savings. When we did the numbers, I was going to save them almost $5,000 from July until the end of the month in taxes because she's going to file married jointly. She and her husband are now clients of mine. Now, this is the 2026 federal income taxes. I sold a trust in October of 2025, and the 2026 numbers were not out yet. I promised the people who I sold that they were franchisee owners. They had made $160,000 in 2024. They're going to save quite a bit of money. And I said, I will go through your same information that you did in 2024 and put 2026 tax brackets to it. I'm not making fun of Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill, but doing everything exactly the same, the husband and wife in 2026 will save $148 extra in the full year. Not a huge thing to be celebrating, but $148. As the wife said, that gives us a night out with a bottle of wine. I'm like, that's true. Congratulations. Now, just to give you an idea, I did a presentation in Arizona. So if you're saving 90% on federal income taxes and no longer paying state income taxes, in Arizona, it's a flat rate of 2.5%. 43 states have state income taxes. Some states are flat rates. Some states, it depends on how much you make. So this is what I used for them. If you're single, in 2025, if you're single or married filing separately, making $100,000, you're going to save $17,847. If you're head of household in Arizona, you'll save $16,321 on $100,000 gross. If you're married, filing jointly, you'll save $13,371. If you make more than $100,000, you'll save even more. The next tax bracket, let me go back here. The next tax bracket, when you look at this, $100,000 to $100,800, or here it's going to be $100,005 to $100,500, $700. It's very close. So if you're making more than $100,000, you're going to be saving more than what's on here. I just want to give somebody a groundwork so they can see how much they could be saving. I just talked to somebody who's an affiliate marketer making almost $500,000 a year, and he's just like, wow, I'm going to save how much? And I'm like, yes, that's what you're going to save. This is a true story, just for an example for you. Ladies, he's single. He was in the military, and now he's working for a defense contractor in Northern Virginia. He has seen one of my videos, and on January 3rd, when he made a meeting with me in 2024, he knew he made $150,000. He had nothing to show for it. He drives a 10-year-old car. He lives in an apartment with 2 roommates, and all his money had gone away. He planned to make more money in 2025, and I said, let's just use the bar at $150,000. Saving 90% on $150,000 is $25,962. Virginia state income taxes, 5.75%. He's going to save $8,625. For the full year, he's going to save $34,587. He was paying his taxes per month. So per month, he's going to save $2,882. He doesn't have to pay back to the federal government or to the Virginia state government. He's not tax-free. He's going to pay gas tax. He's going to pay food tax. He's going to pay takeout tax. He's going to pay car rental tax when he flies around the country, things like that. He plans to take his $34,587, and in 2026, he's going to put a down payment on a house in Northern Virginia. Congratulations to him. My personal story, so you have it. My watershed month was October 2018. three major things happened. I'm living in Phoenix, Arizona. My mom and dad are living in Goodyear, Arizona, 25 miles west of Phoenix on I-10. My oldest nephew's getting married October 27th in Charlotte, North Carolina. I was working as a Medicare broker. I had a bunch of time saved up for vacation time, and I requested the Friday before the wedding and the Monday after the wedding off because I had friends and family coming in from all over the world, and I was denied. I didn't like working for the Medicare brokers because people yelled at me. I liked the job even less. Second thing that happened, my brand new 3-week-old car, a 2018 Hyundai Veloster with a moonroof. You need that in Phoenix at night. I'm driving to work to be there at 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm in a major east-west road Indian school. I'm the second car through on a green light. The idiot runs the red light, T-bones me on the passenger side. He has no insurance. I had uninsured property damage at $25,000, but my loan was worth more than that. Silly Sally had the paperwork for gap insurance because she had 4 weeks to fill it out, sitting on her kitchen table, and I hadn't filled it out yet. I was upside down on my auto loan, and I had to get a second vehicle. All of a sudden, I went from being comfortable to eating ramen noodles twice a week like I did when I was 20 years old in college. I'm 53. What's wrong with this? Third thing that happened in October of 2018, my mom and dad drove from Goodyear, Arizona to Charlotte and were supposed to be gone for 2 weeks. My dad calls me Thursday before the wedding to say my mom's in the emergency room. He's not sure what's wrong. Do not change my flight. I'm doing a red eye 8 o'clock at night from Sky Harbor, arriving 7:20 in the morning in Charlotte. He said, don't change your flight. He'll know more when I come in on Saturday morning. I land in Charlotte. Both had no luggage because I was going to be there for less than 48 hours. Both my nephews, the one getting married, his younger brother, and my dad met me. Family tradition, we go to IHOP for breakfast. The two boys go back to the house. My dad takes me to the hospital to see my mom. I walk in on the priest giving my mom last rites. I was not ready for that. They weren't sure what was wrong. It ended up that she had septic of the blood or blood poisoning. Got into her pacemaker. They had to do open heart surgery to take out her old pacemaker, put in her new pacemaker. She was on the ventilator for 13 months, in the hospital 15 months. Thank God she got better and came home. But my dad stayed with my mom for 9 months in the Charlotte area. Thank God he's staying with my brother and sister-in-law. They had a beautiful house, 5 bedrooms. He was going to the hospital every day. They had planned to be gone for 2 weeks. I was going out to their house in Goodyear once a week to do the mail. And on the first week of December, there was a letter that was 27 pages thick. It was my mom's Medicare statement for emergency room visit late October and 1 month on a ventilator for the whole month of November. Everything they did for her in Pineville Hospital. Her bill was $72,900. My dad was retired military. They had TRICARE for life. Everything was being taken care of. I'm standing in their kitchen. I hate my job. I have a mortgage. I have student loans because I went to graduate school. I have 2 car payments, 1 car. I have a $10,000 deductible on my health insurance. That car accident earlier in the month, thank God no ambulance was called. And I have credit card debt. Right then and there, I call my friend Glenn. He and his wife Rhonda had invited me to a real estate meeting back in August of 2018. And I said to him, I'm very interested in doing this. I was doing tax liens in my Roth IRA and was being successful at that, but I needed to up my game. He said, Sally, next Saturday, we're having a Christmas potluck dinner. Come, bring a $5 gift, some food, meet my fellow real estate investors. Oh, okay. The only people I'm going to know are Glenn and Rhonda. They're going to a Christmas pageant. They're not going to be there until 9 o'clock at night, and the party started at 6. Pull on your big girl pants, Sally. Go to the party. Best decision of my life. I met my mentor there. In 2019, my mentor taught me how to do bank-owned property nationwide. I'm not sure if you realize this, but back in the housing bust of 2018, it hit Phoenix bad. But the federal government told Bank of America to purchase countrywide mortgage loans. It was a complete mess. In 2019, nationwide, I wholesaled 7 bank-owned properties nationwide and paid off all my $184,000 in debt. And I was a good real estate investor and had $50,000 in my bank account. I started holding some of these notes nationwide. I had 3 of them. And my mom got better. She came home. And in 2020, March 17th, my parents canceled a major St. Patrick's Day party. My mom's from Ireland. They bought, I don't know how many legs of lamb, but it was canceled because of COVID. On April 1st, 2020, my 3 properties did not pay me. I had no money coming in. On April 4th of 2020, my CPA called me to say, congratulations, Sally. I was single. Your tax bracket goes from 22% to 24%, and you owe the federal government $94,000 in short-term capital gains. Congratulations. I only have $50,000 saved. He says, make an appointment. We're going to set you up on a payment plan. You're going to have interest on that, but you've got some money. We'll work with you on that. Well, my great aunt Kitty always said sleep on it in Ireland. A fantastic book to read is The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. I go to bed on April 4th, 2020, and I have in my head, how am I going to get $24,000? I wake up at 5 o'clock the next morning. I decide to take a HELOC off of my paid off townhouse, defeats the purpose of being paid off. And then I also knew I had read an article about the Rockefellers Spendthrift Trust. It took me 5 months to start both my business and Beneficial Spendthrift Trust in September of 2020. And I started teaching a mastermind in my real estate group for 18 months to teach other real estate investors how to save money. This property that I bought, a bank-owned reverse mortgage, I bought it in July of 2020 for $20,000. Woohoo! Everything 2020, that sounds great. And it was going to go auction for $50,000. It was the middle of COVID. I knew that $30,000 split in between would be $10,110 at 24% tax rate. That's a lot of money. I'm sorry, $7,110 at $50,000. When it finally went to auction, August 28th of 2021, 13 months later, the final bid was $64,326. Woohoo! Without lifting a hammer, I got to make $44,326. This is the way I like to invest. But more importantly, at 24% tax bracket, I saved $10,368 in short-term capital gains. I used that $10,368 and put it into more real estate and never looked back. The Beneficial Trust is for all investors. The 5 taxes you're going to save short-term capital gains, which are less than a year. So if you wholesale, you fix and flip, you do auction houses, tax liens, you sell crypto, you're a forex investor, or you're doing options trading, you're being taxed between 10% to 37%. We'll get to the long-term capital gains in just a second. Interest income taxes, again, are taxed just like federal income taxes. If you're a passive investor, you're in mutual funds, you're in a REIT, you're doing subject to real estate, you're doing the BRRRR strategy. My 3 properties were notes where I was the paper on the house, I'm the Bank of Sally, people were paying me their off the mortgage. I had to foreclose on them. Or if you're a forex investor, seller financing, or if you're doing creative financing. Yes, forex investors, you get taxed twice. You need to know about the Spendthrift Trust. Dividend income taxes. If you're in the stock market, if you're a day trader, if you're doing futures trading, if you're doing commodities trading, or you're living off of dividends. Again, this is at $50,000, depending on what tax bracket you are. If you make more than that, you'll save even more taxes. I have a story I'm going to tell you about where clients of mine are doing very well with dividend income. They're over 65 and they're getting charged extra, a surcharge on their Medicare, where the trust will help. We'll get there in a second. Rental income taxes. Yes, you can move a property with a depreciation schedule. Yes, you can move a property with cost averaging into the trust. Remember, you're going to keep your information private. All lawsuits become frivolous if the renter's dog gets out and bites the mailman. They can't come after you. And whatever you're doing, Maybe you have short-term rentals like Airbnb, vacation rentals. Maybe you have 3 doors, 5 doors, 10 doors, 20 doors, 100 doors. Maybe you're in multifamily. Maybe you're in apartment buildings. Maybe you have commercial property, or you're doing Airbnb arbitrage. You're going to be saving taxes, keeping your information private, and all lawsuits become frivolous. The one tax that's not on here, royalty income taxes, are taxed a little bit less. They're taxed between 10% to 35%, 7 different layers, so a little bit less. But if you're an actor, an actress, a musician, an author, an artist, you're in NFT world, you have copyrights, patents, or intellectual property, you're going to be saving royalty income taxes. Robin Williams, the late great actor, had the Beneficial Spendthrift Trust. Now his 3 adult children pay no royalties on all his works. This is long-term capital gains. True story, a son saw my TikTok video. He contacted me on TikTok. His dad, Jim, and his 2 brothers built this restaurant 42 years ago. They're selling it as is for $3 million. Jim had never been on Zoom. We talked. I explained to him what capital gains were. I'm not an accountant, but at 15%, he's going to save $450,000, or at 20%, he'll save $600,000. He said, can you talk to my business broker, Sam? Here's his phone number. I call Sam. We're changing the trust document. Talk to Sam about the business trust. He's like, I'm going to make $30,000 on this deal and have 3 other deals in the pipeline for 2023. I need to start the business trust. I told Sam about my free affiliate program. Sam calls Michael, the gentleman who is buying this family restaurant for $3 million. It's going to be his 7th restaurant in 3 different states. And Michael's just like, do you know how much I pay in taxes? Let me start the business trust. When Michael paid for the business trust, I sent to Sam by wire $1,000, and Sam has sent me more clients. All his clients are either saving capital gains or saving federal and state income taxes. Now, IRMA, if you're 65 or older and you're making too much money, I only have 2025 numbers right now. If you're single, it's $106,000 a year. If you're married, it's $212,000. Every October, so October of 2025, the IRS went back to people on Medicare in 2023 and when looked at 1040 tax returns and added everything together. Your Social Security payment, your pensions, if you have wages, your 401k withdrawals, your SEP withdrawals, maybe you have interest income taxes, capital gains, dividend income taxes, rental income taxes, or royalty income taxes. All of that is added together, and if you make more than $106,000 as single, or more than $212,000 if you're married, you're getting a surcharge for IRMA. It's income-related adjustable amount. That couple I was talking about, he was unaware of this. He was 70, his wife, who was 68, the wife knew both of them were paying over $480 a piece per month for IRMA. I was able to take away their IRMA surcharges. They're still going to have to pay $185 a piece. Everyone on Medicare does that from the Social Security thing. But I got to save them each $405 per month, or $810 extra, plus not paying dividend income taxes. This document is amazing. I have been talking for a long time. So if you would like to set up a 30-minute tax breakthrough session with me, it's www.thetrustisyou.com/scheduling. I have a free class on the Great Discovery. When you go out there, you're going to get a presentation similar to this. You're going to get 3 articles from Forbes magazine. I did not write, they did. You're going to get 2 pages of case law so you can research this to your heart's content. And you're going to get examples of clients saving thousands of dollars. Whoops, let me stop sharing. Sorry, that was ugly. This is not a necessity. This is what the rich have. If you would like to find out more, I am here to help as many people save as much money in taxes legally. Please reach out to me. It's a free call. I'm going to take you out to a free website called NerdWallet. We're going to figure out what your tax bracket is. We're going to figure out how much you're paying in federal or state income taxes, or what your tax bracket is that you're paying on your investments. Thank you for watching my video. I do this every Monday, 5 p.m. East Coast time. Learn the secret of the rich. Stop paying taxes just like the rich do. Take care.